Welcome to That Colorado Life. Today I am cooking in a sous vide. And sous vide, it's even hard to say, is basically a water bath. And you prep your meats, your vegetables, whatever you want to do into a vacuum sealed bag, and then you cook it anywhere really from 6 hours up to 2 days. And this little handle here will keep it at the temperature that it's supposed to be at. And okay, so I have that there. So what I have is and this is my very first time doing sous vide. And I will tell you that I haven't done it in the past because I'm not a recipe follower, and it just kind of always intimidated me. And I just wanted to kind of cook a little bit more with my intuition versus following a recipe, following a certain temperature, things like that. But now that kind of that fall weather is settling in and it's a little cooler, I'm a really big firm believer in is we should always learn something new. So for me, sous vide is something new. My brother was visiting me last week and he uses sous vide really all the time. And the beauty of it is it takes a really inexpensive, tough cut of meat. Sorry for all you vegetarians out there, but I do live in the land of the cattle. It takes a really expensive piece of meat and turns it into literally tenderloin. So for $3.99 a pound versus $29 a pound, you can have a delicious piece of meat and really no fuss at all. So what I'm doing is I have a top round, and it's a very lean, inexpensive cut. And I just put together my favorite spice blend. I have some sea salt, some cayenne, some cumin, some coriander, a little za'atar, which is kind of a coriander, fennel, sesame seed mix. And then, so I'm just kind of rubbing it in here, giving it a little massage, nothing particular. And then you want to drizzle it with a little bit of moisture. And I did read some recipes for this. This is not a recipe. This is made up from me. But a lot of them used a lot of butter. And I like a little bit of fat, but I don't necessarily need like pats of butter on my beef. So what I did is I took a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I mixed it with some spice, like a red chili spice, like a paste, like a red chili paste. You could do a sweet pepper one. And actually we're just gonna see in 20 hours how this turns out. So I'm just gonna brush it on, because what it's gonna do is it is going to bathe in all of this deliciousness. So it's gonna, marinate. So you're talking marinate at the perfect temperature for, up to 20, 24 hours. You could even do longer. And it just bathes in it. So all of that delicious flavor, I did the spice crust, and after this just kind of wet marinade, I'm trying not to get it on the other side. It's just gonna marinate in that. I think it's gonna be absolutely delicious. And I think it's perfect for those fall afternoons, evenings, kind of when you wanna munch all day. So I've got that. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick because I don't wanna get that all over. And so now my brother said I could do this. I really just took a freezer Ziploc bag. I bought 20 of them for $4.99, a lot cheaper than using a vacuum seal bag. So we're just gonna see how it works. He swears by it. Okay, so just manhandling my meat. I'm throwing it in the bag. And what I did, I'm washing my hands again. Hang on. It does get pretty, it gets pretty messy. But honestly, I think this is gonna be the longest part of the entire process, which is like 5 minutes of prep. I cut up, I love fresh ginger. I always have it in the freezer. So what I did is I kind of just chunked up, just kind of as an extra little flavor bomb going in the marinade. And I'm just gonna toss it in. So it's just some fresh ginger. And it's just chunked up, not a big deal. I am not adding anything else to this. This is it. Top round, spice crust, a little bit of wetness with the olive oil and red chili paste. Okay, we're gonna see if I can do this. So you are supposed to literally get out all the air. And that is so that every surface of the meat is bathed in that water and it really has an even temp. If you want to use vacuum seal bags, certainly go ahead. But I'm just going to say, oh, this works. So, you know what? I'm not a perfectionist, and I think that this is pretty good. So, that's my meat, okay? You could also throw some garlic in here. I was a little lazy, and I thought this would just be easy, and I had fresh ginger, so I threw it in. So, for the sous vide, you can use any pan that you had. I'm going to give you a link to this, but I bought this for like $9 on Amazon because it was easy. So I'm throwing it in here. Throwing it in. So odd. I have seen people clip it, and you certainly can. I'm not going to. And then up here, and when you get this sous vide, it literally, it's like the size of an immersion blender. I mean, it is tiny, and it just goes in your utensil drawer. Tiny, tiny, tiny. This one is Bluetooth, and again, I will send you a link. And honestly, it's like $129, and what you will save in buying less expensive cuts of meat, literally you will be making money, 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 because you will not have to be spending, you know, between $28 and $35 a pound on a really, really, really tender piece of meat. So this is plugged in. I am gonna set this manually on the sous vide holder, but you can also do it on your phone. There's an app. And it's very self-explanatory. So right now it's saying that the temperature of the water is 104 degrees. So what I'm gonna do, I need it to go to 131. So that's my target temp. And then I am gonna set it for, let's see, I think I'm gonna do like 20 hours because you know what? It just sits here and cooks itself. And the longer that it cooks, it can't overcook. So the longer it cooks, the more tender it is. So what we're gonna do, set this, and I'm gonna see you back in 20 hours, and we're gonna do a quick little 1-minute sear on each side to crisp it up, and then we're gonna slice it and eat it. So this is it. Welcome back. 20 hours later, I have got the sous vide out of the container that it was in, and remember, I did 20 hours at 131 degrees. So, oh my God, it's been marinating. We haven't peeked at it yet, even though I've been wanting to. So now, I'm putting it in a screaming hot pan with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter, and that's because the smoke point is higher when you mix both rather than one by itself. I'm putting a little bit of salt on it. The idea is just to kind of crust it up and get a little nice crust on it, little sear. And I'm just gonna do probably 30 seconds, a minute per side. And then probably what I'm gonna do is take this lovely juiciness and I am going to blend it in an immersion blender or put it in a pan. I haven't quite figured that out, but sky's the limit. Thicken it up with a little roux, a little bit of flour and oil or butter. Oh my God. Look at how good this looks. And I literally have done nothing. So back to this little gravy. So I'm going to thicken it up, add some seasonings to taste, and then I'm probably just going to pour it right over the top. I wish you guys were here so you could smell this. The only dish, honestly, was a cutting board to start to just cut up the ginger, the little spice bowl, this, you know, Ziploc bag. Sorry. And then this pan. And that's it. And this, I can just wipe off. It's kind of a cast iron side. So I can just wipe off when I'm done. And so for the interest of time, I think what I'm going to do, actually, it's probably pretty good, and it's getting pretty smoky in here. I am going to, now I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to slice. In a normal world, if you guys weren't all watching, I would let it rest for a solid, even though it has been resting for about 20 hours, I would probably let it rest after this hard sear for about 10 minutes. And that's just really to let all the juices redistribute and become tender. But hello, it's already tender. So I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to take my pan off because it is hot. Let me grab a fork real quick. Oh my gosh, and then we're gonna do the taste together, and hope it's delicious. You always slice against the grain. That's gonna give you the most tender piece of meat. Oh my gosh, Wow. Okay. I have to say, my brother's right. This is a perfect rare to a medium rare. Look at this piece. And this is, it's like $2.99, $3.99. Okay. I am going to take a bite. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. It's literally better than tenderloin. I want to eat more. It's really good. You know what? You don't even really need to rest it. And it's got a perfect little sear, and you saw I just did that. Super excited. Wow, can't wait to use this again. Turned a really inexpensive cut of meat into a tenderloin, and you can really, I mean, look at how thin I can slice these. I mean, look at this for sandwiches. It just falls off. And I can do thick, I can do thin. You can really do whatever you want. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh. You could do a little horseradish mustard with this and put it on a piece of bread. Okay, well, I have to go eat. I am gonna put a link in so that you guys can all buy the sous vide and put it in your own pot and pan. I am really excited to hear what you guys are sous videing. And I will see you next time. And remember, That Colorado Life on Facebook and That Colorado Life on Instagram. Thanks for following.